Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Turn the Hymmed Up. I'm your boy LP82 along with my co-host
Young Tech, aka Wordplay.
And of course
Virginia. Hi guys.
Hi Virginia, how's it going? Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. As you know, me and Tech, we are slaves to the ship. But Virginia, she's came in and she's doing a great job, an amazing job.
Great job.
Guys, thank you guys. You guys are amazing too, and I really appreciate you guys having me on board. And I'm learning a lot from you guys too, and it's just really an honor. So I really appreciate you guys. But I got a random question for you.
Random.
My random question is: if you could pick one vacation spot that if you had no limits to money, no limits to anything that you wanted to do, and you can go anywhere you want, where would you choose, LP?
I don't know. Like a lot of people would say, like islands and stuff. Like I'm not really like an island fan like that. Like I'd probably go like to. You know what? I take that back. No, really, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I like city life. I like city. Probably like Paris or Europe, somewhere like that. I don't really care about island stuff like that though.
Oh, what about you, Chris?
I would definitely pick Miami. I like just the scenery. I never really been out there. I would love to go out there just to check it out. I see the beaches and just the way it looks out there. It just looks so nice, you know. So yeah. I would definitely pick that.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, like for me, anywhere right now, especially during quarantine, like anywhere will be fine for me. Even if I go like 20 minutes away from my house, I still kind of feel like I'm just glad I'm out of the house. Quarantine is ridiculous.
You Kuiper going crazy, like
going crazy. I mean, sitting in the house all day. I mean, like it's good because it's
boring.
Yeah, it's boring, but it makes you think.
Right.
It makes you think and become creative and think about new things you can do and try new things. So, I mean, yeah, it's a tough time, but I mean, we got to make it work.
You do think of creative things to do, you know, when you bored, you know. I find myself doing a lot, finding different things I could do around the house, you know, just to, keep up with the time.
Right.
Yeah. So, relationships are a little bit strenuous during this quarantine time. I mean, we've seen people that if they don't have babies coming, they have divorces coming, you know, or they're having issues and they're like spending more time with their spouses that they normally wouldn't have done, you know. So my first question to you guys is, how has quarantine changed relationships in your opinion?
I don't know. Slow keep I can't keep saying it. It feels like the same thing. I don't feel no different. It feels like the same thing because I've been working this whole time, so I ain't really been at the house like that. But it does put a strain on as far as what you can do as a couple. Like me and wife, we like to go out to eat. We like to go different places and stuff like that. We still try to go out, but it does put a little strain on what you can and can't do. But my life still feels the same.
Good.
It's really not no different for me. Like the only thing will be different is we can't go out. Netflix. Different things you could do around the house, watch movies. For me, I record, so I might be recording. I spend more time with my kids more now, you know what I'm saying, because they're out of school, where they're in school, but I get to help them with their work and different things like that. So I got a lot of things I could do to occupy my time.
Oh yeah. I think the same for me too. Yeah, you spend more time, but ultimately you're doing the same things. I think that, if you're in a strong relationship and it was strong to begin with, then, it'd be strong during quarantine. I mean, I think ones that were rocky probably are probably having a much harder time, during this time. But, I mean, in a relationship, you got to establish, how you feel about the person before you even get into it. So if you think you're going to, get on someone's nerves or feel like, oh, we can't go out now, so what's the point of being with somebody? Then you need to reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, that
I
is
think
true.
so.
That's so absolutely right.
For sure. Do you think it's harder to date during quarantine, like for single people, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's harder to date. You know, you can't really go out, so if anything, is you come to the house, or I go to your house. You know what I'm saying? But as far as actually going out, it would be a lot harder now because there's not really no dining in, so you can't really take anybody to a restaurant or anything like that. So you got to kind of make do with what you have. So in terms of dating, yeah, it would be a lot harder.
DMs are popping right now. DMs is like the club, like the bar now. So everybody's sliding in them DMs. And then too, like for those that don't have money, you know what I'm saying? This is the perfect time to come up on a relationship. Hey, I can't take you nowhere. Like literally, we can't go nowhere. So I'm gonna save some money. So like, come to the house, please. Like,
do what you can
Yeah.
out there. I mean, dating is hard anyway. You know what I mean? I think now that you can't go out physically, talk to somebody, or like if people, like you're saying, like DMs are real popular. If you never met the person, like you can't. I mean, some people do. They'll invite somebody over they just met and whatnot. But I mean, like some people don't do that.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then how are you doing? Are you just gonna be single and wait it out during quarantine? Or
Some people happy single though.
Yeah.
Some people is happy with just being single, just doing them. So
quarantine, no quarantine. Like, yo, I'm be single.
sounds good. Do you guys remember when y'all were single?
I definitely remember when I was single.
Were you cool with this? Like, if you think back when you were single, and if there was a quarantine at that time, like, how nuts would you go? Just like no one to really talk to or anything like that.
I'm still going out.
Oh.
I'm still gonna meet somebody or walk around or whatever. Because I'm not really like, I be at home, but like I don't be at home, so I'm always like out, like whatever. But not to say that I'm not taking it serious and I'm taking the necessary precautions and stuff like that. But for the most part, if I was single right now, shit, stack your money up because Christmas is around the corner, so we blowing bread on somebody eventually.
I definitely be on the grind more. You know what I'm saying? Being single, I mean, you focus on yourself, so get the money.
Okay, I was about to say, what grind do you mean? You like gonna be grinding? I'm gonna be like out there chasing their ass. Like I'm gonna be out here grinding.
So what I'm taking from y'all two is single people should be taking the quarantine time to like really focus on themselves, save your money, and like get yourself together.
Well, that's me. I would do that.
I'm saying, man, if you find somebody, man, go for it. Like fuck it. Like for those that don't know, for those that watch it from other states, we live in California. California, it's already like people walking around like it ain't shit anyway. So like, I don't know.
That's true. I actually got a story if you guys don't mind.
Run
I
it.
don't know if I told y'all last week, but Huntington Beach, Venice Beach, all those beaches over there, people don't care.
Hell no.
They do not care. They are out there partying as we speak. They're having festivals,
bonfires?
drum circles.
Are they wearing masks or are they just out in the open?
It's not required. Like you can go and walk down the street and you will see families with no masks on or taking any precautions. 6 feet away, that ain't a thing.
You know what I'm
What are
saying?
you talking about?
All this heat, they were like, shit, man, that motherfucker, that coronavirus is gone right now. That shit on vacation.
Yeah, he on vacation, right?
that ain't stopping nothing.
No.
All right, so I have another question about the quarantine and relationships now. Do you think that it's making cheating harder for those cheaters out there to cheat during quarantine? You can't really.
I think people find a way.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You'll find a way to cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like you go over their house or they, you know what I mean? If you can't, you can't. If they can't come to your house, you can always go to theirs. But if it's two relationships and y'all both, you're gonna either spend on a hotel, spend some money on a hotel, or it's not gonna be nothing going on.
I'll put it like this. This is the telltale sign. If your man or your woman got COVID and you don't, hey, And then too, on top of that, there's a lot of people out there balling right now because of the COVID. So they probably out there really super duper cheating. They got extra money. I'm gonna put this aside for the hotel. So there's people out there going ham right now. So cheating, that shit probably increased. Like,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, how many times can you take a trip to the grocery store? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, those are the only thing about it, like the only things during quarantine that was open was the grocery store and Home Depot.
Essential places. Yeah, places you really need to go to get stuff, and like grocery store, Home Depot. Yeah. What else is there?
But that's where a lot of
Walgreens.
people. That's where a lot of people meet people though, at the grocery store.
True.
Like, yo, I met this girl at the grocery store. Like, yeah, motherfuckers really be meeting people there.
They really do. People really meet people at the grocery store. Like,
you can meet somebody anywhere though. You could be at the car wash. You know what I'm saying?
Checking the mailbox.
That's why you got to be ready.
You come here often?
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Right.
You never know. Your soulmate could be right around the corner.
That is true. That is very true. You never know. You never know.
How do you guys feel about long distance relationships?
I never like, technically I've never had one. Now, at one point in time, a long distance relationship to me was like, I lived in Rialto and she stayed in Moreno Valley, and the only reason why is because I didn't have a car. So that was long distance.
True.
But I never personally experienced it like on that level, so I couldn't really. I know honestly I couldn't do it though. Real shit, like that's wild. That's bananas.
I think you got to really have a connection with somebody to to even do that, or to drift off and you do your thing and that person do their thing. I don't think as far as a long distance relationship, yeah, you got to really be connected with that person, yeah, because it's not gonna work. I don't feel like it's gonna work, and you got to be, constantly talking to that person, and letting them know how much you care about that person, and having real deep conversations, in order to maintain it. Because if not, I don't feel like it's gonna work.
Yeah. And as soon as they hang up that phone, it's after all that good shit, they gonna go to their side nigga house.
All right,
that's the only thing. But that's the thing, like. And if you're not really connected with that person like that, you worrying about if that person cheating, or you don't know what that person do. You out of reach. You know what I'm saying? You can't even check up on that person if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, But if you do have that real good connection with that person, I feel like it could last.
Yeah. I was actually in a long distance relationship.
How was it?
It was a friendship, but it was a long distance relationship. Could only be a friendship.
So let me ask you a question. Were you guys in a relationship before the long distance, or you guys met on long distance terms? Like
long distance terms. So I was love MySpace.
Okay, but like, do you think it would have worked out if you guys were in like you guys met, same city, same school, whatever, and then you guys, okay, cool, this is cool, and then you guys go both, separate ways, but you guys still want to be in a relationship? Oh. Do you think you could deal with it in that way?
I think no. I've been in a couple of long distance relationships, and right. I just never took them serious. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I never took them serious because you never met the person. It's probably different if you meet them and then they go off to college or whatever. But like, as far as never meeting somebody but establishing a relationship over the phone and talking, and because conversations will be 6 hours long. Right. When you said you can have a great conversation and turn around and just go to the next person. Right? I mean, that's true, but as a young person, you don't really realize that. You're thinking, oh, we're having a 6-hour conversation. This person, I'm going to meet him one day or what have you. Right. But no.
So by you saying that you didn't take it really serious, are you talking to other people when you're in that relationship, long distance, or are you still committed to that one person?
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, it was a commitment thing because I was, naive. You're just like, oh, I might be good. But then after a while, you realize how easy it is to just go, yeah, this person is cool in that state, but in this state, that person's cool.
So beware. If that person that you're with always tell you they're at the grocery store, beware.
Beware.
They're looking for somebody in the area.
I'm sure you can see signs.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If they're out every day, every hour of the day because they want to do things, you probably need to check up on what's going on.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm out. I'll be out in the streets.
I mean, I'm working out. Working out. Gyms aren't open, buddy. What else? You do?
I know her.
All right. How do you know if a guy or girl really loves you?
Well, I experienced love in many different ways from many different, not to say like I have like a whole list, but they all show love different. I just feel like just when it's reciprocated, like if you do something, like if they're, just being thoughtful, just little conversations. If I say something, it could be like 5-6 months down the line, and then it could be my birthday, whatever, and then you be like, remember when you, because that's how I am in relationship. Like it could be some shit like, I always wanted, like my wife, she's always talking about a fucking Instapot. So when I was just like, it was Mother's Day, I was like, let me go get that Instapot. It's time. It's time. Even though she knew it, though. She was like, I know you got that damn Instapot. But it's just little things like that. I think that's just, stuff like that. Just follow my vibe. Whatever I'm on, you on, just follow my vibe.
I think love is a feeling. I think you can feel when it's real love there. You know what I'm saying? Like you know when somebody ain't really feeling you like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But love, shows when you really care about that person. You'll go out your way for them. That connection is there to where that person's there with you every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's love. That's something that, and it don't even have to be relationship. It could be, just a one-on-one with somebody. You can tell when somebody really loves you. You know what I'm saying? And that's male or female. If you show that you actually care for that person, and you ride with that person all the way through, I feel like that's love.
Okay. Well, do you think that you can gain that type of love from someone from a long distance relationship? You think it's possible, or do you think that's something that has to be like face to face, spend time with each other to be able to gain that trust, that love, to be able to vibe with each other? You know what I mean?
It's like I can't really speak from experience. I never dealt with it, but I would like to think that's possible. But then again, it's just like, especially in today's world, it's just so much shit going on. Yeah. So much. Like, damn. Like I can get the whole mindset of just waiting for that person's conversation because it might make you feel better about your day. But then again, it's like I know a lot of people that do that shit, and that shit be game though. Like they just be doing that shit because it's game. Like, yo, I got this bro, she staying so she got bread though, but I'm gonna get on. Hey baby, how's it going? Like, it just sound like game though. I don't know, this shit weird.
Yeah, to me, with that situation, it's kind of like, I feel like if you were with that person and then you guys move away and you got a long distance relationship from that, but you was already connected with that person and you love that person like that. That I think can possibly happen, but as far as it's been a long distance relationship from the gate, I think there's a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, you really know that person. Yeah, man. Yeah, conversation, but you want to actually physically be there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't feel like I've never actually been in a long distance relationship, but just looking from the outside in, it just seems like, you need that connection with that person. You need to physically be there. And, with a long distance relationship that you're not there in the present, and it was like that from the beginning, I don't feel like that could last for too long. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got to physically be there from the gate. Now, if you was there from the gate all the way through, you know what I'm saying? Just say you was with that person in the physical form, for about a year, and then that person moves away, then I can still see the connection being there because y'all got that chemistry, so that's just my take.
Like you said, the physical. We need that physical. We need to be physical. Hey, you know what though? Hey, you know what? The thing that trips me out the most, right? So you know you got women that be waiting on these dudes, like they be creating these little pen pals with men in prison or whatever.
Yeah.
And they be waiting like 10 years. And he come home, and then the physical part ain't what they thought it was. You wasted 10 years of your life.
Oh. But there's more of a connection when you talk about women in relationships, because I think, I mean, I can only speak for myself.
Right.
I think that as a woman, you know, we put a little bit more emotion and a little bit more love and care into like those things like pen pals and things like that. Like we really, like when I was younger, I really believed like, okay, I'm going to be the best long distance girlfriend, friend, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
You know, as best as possible. So I'm going to write every single day and answer every single text. That's me being a good girlfriend, is answering every single text. But I thought that was good. And keep in mind, this is when I was younger, you know, and, you know, I was really naive about it. So, I mean, like a lot of women, you know, that can happen. You know, they get that emotional bond that they build even with someone through pen pal or text or Facebook or whatever's cool right now, Instagram. You know, they really feel like, oh, this person might just be someone that could possibly be a Prince Charming, you know?
Right.
And, you know, I'm not saying that's false, you know, like don't believe it. I'm just saying that, you know, it's there. And it may not be there for guys, most guys, you know? Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think you can love somebody long distance, you know. I mean, people love idols, you know, they love celebrities. There's people out there that obsessed over celebrities when they don't even, you know,
they be faithful to them and everything.
Yeah, and
I'm saving myself for Drake.
Right? And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm sure people can wait, but I mean, like as far as like a real life loving someone and really getting to know them and being able to say you truly love somebody, I think that's a face-to-face thing, personally. Right. But when you do love somebody and you guys both mutual about it, do you think that there's a pressure there to settle down and get married and have kids, or do you think you can live your life? I
think all that stuff is situational. Like it's all about situations that either you put yourself in or the person put you in, whatever the case may be. I don't like pressure. I would never say, okay, so I'm married, so I would never say I was pressured into being married, but there were certain things that I've done in my past that I just didn't want to repeat. So if anything, I was more pressure on myself than the other person giving me that pressure. So I would say that would be it. But other than that, like, it's like, you know, like being married is cool. Like it has its ups and downs. It has its good times, bad times. It has its, you know, annoying times. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Bridget. Annoying times. It, you know, it has a good and bad. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like me and my wife we already told ourselves, like, we already told each other, like, I don't care what's going on, we're still gonna be together. Like we could be in the same house, hating each other's guts. Yeah. Oh, no. Like she's gonna be on the other side, I'm gonna be on the other side, and her son gonna just come from each room talking about dad. Mom said,
entanglements.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't gonna entangle me nothing. Like if you gonna be doing you better like, you know, say be discreet and just, like keep it on the low. Like I'm still a human, you know what I'm saying? But like that's just, you know, it was never no pressure though, you know, like that. But you know what I'm saying?
Like no outside pressure.
Nah, hell no. Nah. It was what it was, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy I did it. You know, there'd be days you'd be like, damn, what if I was still just out here doing me? But then again, there's a lot of other stuff that come along with that. So
yeah, I don't think it should be pressure with commitment or, you know, marriage or anything. I don't think it should be pressure, because then it feels like the person is just doing it because they feel like they have to. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it should just organically be, you know, be something you feel, you know, like I feel like it's the time right now to be married. So, you know, let me propose this to this person. You know, I think it's just a feeling, you know, you got to have, you know, when it's the right time, you know, and, you know, that I think that works better, and it tends to last longer, you know, when you organically have that feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's something natural. You know what I'm saying? And not something that's pressured, like, oh, you better marry me or we're breaking up. You know, that doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that works. And then you trying to keep that person, so it's like, all right, let me just do this to make that person happy. I don't feel like it should be like that. I feel like it should just happen naturally.
I mean, that I would say I'm happy to live in a country where, arranged marriages aren't a thing. For, in other countries,
That's the thing.
they tell you who you're gonna marry. Your parents pick who you're gonna marry, and I'm just like, man, like that's got to be tough for a lot of people out there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a lot of pressure. Having like your family telling you need to get married, you need to do this, or having a spouse, or not a spouse, but like a boyfriend or girlfriend who's just like, every time you turn around, they're bringing up marriage stuff, and you're just like, this is pressure.
I would say not to really even listen to anybody outside of your, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to tell you need to get married or whatever. Do it when it's the right time for you to do it. Don't listen to everybody else, because they just telling you what they feel like it should happen. You know what I mean? Do it on your own time. Do it when you're ready. And if you are ready, I feel like you should do that. Make that move if you really feel like that your other half is somebody you really want to be with and connect with, and you feel like it's that right time to make that move. I say go for it.
Yeah, because I'm like you. I'm saying, if you're, if you pick that person, you chose that person to be with for the rest of your life, and you feel confident about it, you can't allow other outside sources to intervene on that, because they're not with that person every day. They're not going to be going home and seeing that person. They've got their own thing that they have to deal with.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, you just got to look out for yourself, and trust that, this person, I love them so much, or I love her so much, and we're going to do this. And if we're going to do this, we're going to put all our full feet in, and get married. And
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's a trust thing. Honestly, I had never been engaged before. I'm finally engaged, and I'm 33, and a lot of that was because of fear. A lot of it was like, okay, giving 100% of yourself, or giving more to yourself than you've ever given to somebody, whether it's 100 or not.
I think fear stops a lot of people from doing what they want to do. I feel like fear should be thrown out the window. Just go for what and work through it. Whether it's pain, whatever it is, embrace it and work through it.
It had to be a fucking helicopter, right? Don't worry, audience. We're not acting like we don't hear it. We hear it too.
Let me tell you something, okay? It is 100 and something degrees, all right? Let me see y'all come out. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. You guys are wonderful, but it is hot. So we got to do what we got to do.
Keep my towel on deck.
Yes. It's record-breaking temperatures out there. I mean, it's been like 110 for the past like 3 days.
Yeah. This heat is crazy.
Ooh. What about you, LP? Well, what about you, LP? How do you feel about it?
About the heat?
Yes. You're doing okay in this?
Shit, I don't get out the house until like 4.
Lucky you.
Well, today I tried to stay as much as possible, but I had to go get some stuff for the house. But other than that, like, man, it is what it is. I'm not worried about it no more. F the heat.
Yeah, but it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about being in a relationship, but
Right.
What about breaking up? How long do you think it takes to get over a breakup? Or when you were single, and you just broke it off with somebody, how long did it take you to get back on your feet and get back out there?
Oh, as soon as I got in the next one.
No.
You know what the sad part about it is? I don't ever remember being truly like single like that. It seemed like I've always been in a relationship, honestly. But I ain't gonna lie, I had this one girl. I was going crazy. I kicked in her car door and everything. I'm lying. Nah, you know what? And that's a funny thing though, too. Though, why she makes fun of me about that? She's like, "You've never really been single like that. You always been in a relationship." So I don't know.
You always felt like you needed to be in a relationship.
Nah, I don't know what. Like, to be honest with you, I say I would when I was younger, I used to think that, but to be honest with you though, I really kind of like being by myself though. Not to say like I don't want nobody in my life, it's just like I can really vibe and have my own apartment and everything. Like I joke about this all the time, but I really feel like me and my son are gonna get a little pad together.
No.
Like real talk. Like me and him got a little apartment. His mom could be, his mom could come over and visit and spend the night and stuff like that, but.
You know. You guys are funny. But I personally, when it comes to breakups, I don't know. I wasn't in very many relationships, so I mean like 3 or 4 of them, but none of them.
Right.
I kind of exhausted all measures with them, so I never left feeling like, oh, this was, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. It was just like when it was goodbye, and I didn't look back and moved on to the next one.
Right.
It was easy.
I think with breakups, how long to get over it, it just depends on the person. It depends on the connection you have with that person. Like if it was just something like a fling or something, and you like fresh in the relationship and y'all break up, it's probably a lot easier to get over the breakup.
Yeah.
When you haven't really invested that much time into it. But for somebody that's been in a relationship for a long period of time, and you invested a lot into that relationship, it's going to be a lot harder to get over the breakup. It might take, it ranges, it might take a few months, it might take a year, it might take 2 years, 3 years, it's just different for different people. But, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
So you said the time frame. In you guys' opinion, what do you think a good time frame is for in a relationship? You think it's like years, and you think you can develop and love somebody within the first month of a relationship, or like what's a long time to you guys? Because me personally, 2 years is a long time for me, like getting to know somebody. and I'm serious.
It shouldn't. I don't feel like it should take you. I don't feel like it should take you 2 years to get to know somebody. That doesn't even seem logical to me. You can, as you go, day by day, you're getting to know that person. So it shouldn't take you that long to get to really know that person and interact with that person. But it could range, from, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, you know what I'm saying? You can fall in love quick, if you really have that connection with that person. It could be a month, I believe. You know what I'm saying? If you really have that connection with that person and that chemistry is there, yeah, I feel like it could be a short period of time where you fall in love.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm a firm believer in it's like everything's cool when you guys are dating, so of course you're gonna love that person. It's the shit that you don't like about him. Like, can I deal with this shit? That's why I be like tripping on some people. Like they be like so deep in love and never lived with the person. Like I know that's not traditional, whatever in a sense, but hell, it's 2020, ain't shit traditional. Hell, eating inside at a restaurant is not even traditional no more.
Yeah, that's true.
But I feel that in order for you to really know a person, it's sad to say. And, I wish and pray that my daughters don't listen to this and be like, oh, you said move in with them. But you really got to live with a person. Because like you said.
See their habits and everything they're about.
Everything is cool when they buying you roses. Of course, he's like the best dude. But can you deal with him when he's waking up, when he's snoring or when he's like just doing him? Or can you deal with what she does when she, hair in the damn kitchen? I mean, in the bathroom and all that type of shit.
I feel like if you can get through all of that stumble where you can see that person habits and willing to deal with that person, and you can last with that, I feel like it could work. You know what I'm saying?
Then 5 years go by. I'm tired of this shit.
You left the glass in the same spot again.
Shit, I got in a fight over some bread not being rolled up. Like, hey, what the? But she said it was because it was her being pregnant, her emotions being wild. But I call bullshit on that. But it is what it is.
Possible, mood swings are a thing. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing's gonna be a perfect relationship. You're gonna always go through something with somebody, but are you willing to tolerate it and deal with it? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Some people can't tolerate it and so they move on. Some people could actually be like, okay, this person is yelling a lot, or this person does this a lot, or whatever.
Right.
But I'm able to deal with it. You know what I'm saying, and move on.
This person is hitting me a lot.
Hitting you? Wow. Well, with that said, what do you think, or do you, what do you think a guy should do when he's getting hit by a woman? If you, in your opinion, I mean, I know, some people they go there. It's very one sided. Like there's people who's just like, absolutely, you don't put your hands on a woman, and there's that side, and then there's side like, oh no, I don't care. Women want equal rights, so we're gonna treat them equal. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think?
With me, I feel like if a man is getting hit by a woman, I think the best thing to do is not hit her, but to maybe restrain her, or to keep her from hitting you. You know what I mean? And I mean that's the only thing logical I see to do. And if it get to a point where you're by a phone, call the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sorry.
I mean, honestly, you can't hit the female because you're going to jail, period. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think outside of that. And the best thing to do, for me, if that was to happen, I would try to leave, or try to, try to make a move to where I can get out the door and leave, and just be separated from that person, because I don't feel like a man should hit a woman, and I don't think a woman should hit a man. I feel like, both those is, bad things, you know what I'm saying? So, if you can restrain her, and some females be throwing blows, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got to be able to restrain her, and try to calm her down if you can, and try to leave the area if you can, that's the best. That's the only way logical I see it.
So you gonna be running all your life? You better
Get out of there.
That's different from a guy. If a guy doing it, then of course you're gonna get down. But a female, you can't put your hands on them, so you have to think of sources outside of that.
Well, we honestly got to look at it for what it is. Of course, it's a double standard. If we see a dude getting beat up by his girl, we're gonna clown. I like me personally. I'm not like
that's off top. Huh?
Yeah, like there's a double standard, of course, but
like a girl like Meg the Stallion. Have you seen her?
Yes, I have seen her.
She can beat down any guy.
Okay, but yeah, that may be. Yeah, she probably do look like she can beat. But look at what it's like. To be honest with you though, like there's some people that like that kind of shit though.
Yeah,
they be liking for
there's some relationships where even the female like being hit. Like,
yeah,
well, they keep going back. You know what I'm saying?
Remember, Terrence, double standard. I'm not gonna say that, but but like what I'm saying, there's dudes that do shit intentionally for their girl to pull up on them, like real shit. Like,
that's
here she comes.
sad.
Oh shit.
That's sad.
But just nonetheless though, like. I don't know what I would tell a man that comes if a dude comes to me like if my son would come crying to me telling me his girl's beating his ass. I don't know what I would. I'd probably tell him to go talk to his mom or some shit like that. Like get away from me. No disrespect, but I don't know what to say to somebody like that.
How would you handle it if
that shit wouldn't happen to me? I wouldn't I've been in relationships where I've been in one relationship where it was like I'm throwing something at you type shit. I got out of there. Like, I'm not about to, I'm not, but a lot of times you got to think, though, they be provoking because they want you to do something to them. So they're going to try to hit you so you can hit them. And they could be like, I remember one time I was in the front line with my hands up, like, so the neighbors would know she's attacking me and shit. Like, look what she's doing. Like, so. Wow. I just honestly think, though, if I feel like I got to whoop your ass or you got to whoop my ass, I don't even think we need to be in a relationship. I'll get that shit.
Yeah, you definitely got to remove yourself from the situation if anything like that occurs. You can't sit up there and just have a woman put their hands on you and you still be in a relationship with that person. You got to date, and that's vice versa. That's what a woman, a man hitting a woman. A woman shouldn't be in that relationship if she's, having domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? It's,
yeah, I mean, there should be signs. I mean, I don't see someone being in a long term relationship when they're getting hit, a domestic violence. You should have seen. I mean, there's signs. There's got to be signs. I mean, like, I can't speak for anybody. I mean, I'll only watch Investigation Discovery.
It's like signs you go in the house, your girl doing push-ups and shit. Like, oh shit,
stabbing the wall. Like, I mean,
buff
like
as fuck.
There's signs. I mean, as far as a man or if a woman is hit, you guys got to keep in mind. I mean, like, I know that you guys are saying, you can't hit a woman, and I totally agree. No one should put their hands on anyone. No man should put his hands on a woman. No woman should put her hands on a man. No woman should put her hands on anybody. When you become an adult and you can make rational decisions, you should not be putting hands on anybody. And that's just my opinion.
That's true.
But if you're in a relationship, thank you. If you're in a relationship, though, and someone is, and you don't see the signs, and then it gets to a point where you are getting hit, man or woman, you need to charge them for assault. You need to go to the police. I mean, like, okay, it needs to be handled. Okay, I'll put it that way. If that means leaving, if you're married, get a divorce, whatever it is. But no, I think personally, no one should put their hands on anyone, and if they do, then they should rep the highest consequences. And if that means go to jail, so be it.
And don't be trying to bail him out now. I'm gonna bail him out. Hell no.
Pressing charges.
I took the crazy thing is, right, I took a police communication class, right? It was years ago. But anyways, so they were saying, like, back in the 80s and 70s, like, if a man and woman were married and he was putting hands on his wife or vice versa, the cops had no say so. This is before they had the domestic violence. So say like, for instance, like, you're like, they call the police and a man is putting hands on his wife or whatever. If they're actually married and they're on their own property, all they can do is stand there and watch. But nowadays they can do domestic
pretty much
violence.
On them then.
Yeah. But that, I think they passed it like in the early 90s. But just to think in that day and age, that's why it was so prevalent back in the day, because it was like a man's right, in a sense, an unwritten law stating that he can do that and not be, thrown in jail for it.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
It's crazy, but they need to be up in jail. If you putting your hands up on people, I mean, I like I said, I do watch a lot of Investigation Discovery or ID. That's where they show all the crime shows and like domestic violence shows. And one thing I've gathered from all those shows that I've seen is that you gotta just look out. You gotta keep your eyes open. You gotta be able to not be blindsided by love, and be able to be able to look outside and say, okay, and wait, this person, these actions aren't making any sense. So
exactly.
Definitely. Get help. If you're in that type of situation, find a way to get some type of help, because you don't need to be, I hope you get that from this podcast today. But moving on, we're going to go on, and I'm going to just lighten up the subject a little bit. How often do you think people mix up love with lust?
All
Where
the time.
Is that line?
Yeah, a lot.
All the time.
I definitely feel people do that a lot, and they might just have an attraction with that person. Just it could be pretty much something they just like, oh, she look bad. Let me, what I'm saying? Let me get involved with her, without even really getting to know that person and having that connection with them. That's why it's important, even in a real relationship, that you kind of be friends with that person first and really get to know that person before you jump into it. I don't feel like you should just be just off the top just because that person looks good or anything like that. Like, you got to kind of do it the original way, and getting to know that person, knowing, what makes that person tick, what I'm saying? Everything about that person, and then jump into that relationship, but a lot of people do, I feel, have lust where it's just maybe just a sexual thing, in their relationship where they're all about that, and it's not no real connection. Those tend to not really last too long. You got to really have, love for a person and have that connection with them in order for it to work.
Ooh, sounds great. You always make me think, Dan. Always make me think about, like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly how everybody should do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Do you think that there's a mix-up?
Well, I think love is a mixture of understanding, caring, and all that, and lust. Because in order to completely love somebody, you have to be sexually attracted to them.
That's true. That's true.
Thus, the lust.
Ah.
Thus, the lust. But lust, of course, is temporary because you could be with somebody and love them and then lose the lust factor of the relationship. But like you said, like Terrence said, the conversations, the understanding, knowing the person, knowing their wants, knowing what they don't like, and so on and so forth, is going to determine how long you are in that relationship with said person. But like I said, lust is needed in love. You can't have real love without lust. You have to be lustful for that person. You have to crave that person. You know what I'm saying? In a sense.
It definitely works hand in hand. You can't have
exactly.
Like you can't have, but you can't have just lust, without the love there because it tend not to last. It both, it works hand in hand. But having that connection with that person that really plays a big part.
Oh, yeah, I think it's like meat and potatoes. I look at it like lust is like dessert to the dinner, because you want to make sure, like, you're true, you got to be attracted to somebody before you decide that you're gonna love them. I mean, like,
and I feel like communication is key in a relationship too. Having communication where you could talk about that person, you can laugh and joke with that person, talk about playful things, and be sarcastic with that person and have fun, and still have real intelligent conversations with that person. Also, I feel like that's key to a good relationship, and understanding what that person point of view is and what that person is talking, and not afraid to, admit when you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people is wrong in a relationship, but, don't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to, admit when you wrong, when you are wrong, you know what I'm saying? And understand what the other person is coming from, sitting down, having communication and conversation with each other, not just keeping distance when you mad and angry. So I'm going to just separate myself. You got to really communicate with that person and see where that person is coming from, because it could be just a whole misunderstanding, and by conversation and talking with that person, you get a good feel for it. You get to know what, okay, I see where you coming from. It was my fault. You know what I'm saying? It could be a situation like that. So, definitely conversation play a big part.
I'm never wrong, so I don't know what the fuck. I'll act like I'm wrong, but I'm never wrong. And she knows it. And there's been plenty of times I have called her out on some shit, and she just tried to go about it her way. So, yeah, I'm never wrong. Technically, but I'll be wrong.
Loves you.
I'll be wrong for the moment, because before I left the house, we were having, our middle child, she's running for president, vice president or something like that. So I'm telling her, because her mom is helping her, what to say on there, because I know what to say. I may not be punctual and all that all that type of shit, but I know what to say. And I told her, I was like, she's not going to be able to say that. She's going to stumble over all those big-ass words you're fucking giving her. What do you know? Stumbling. I can't say this. I can't say. Either way it goes. Like I said, I was fucking right. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Calm down. But I was right, babe. I was right. But I'm never wrong, so.
Your wife loves you.
I guess.
That's a good thing. Love
cool.
conquers all, and love is very important in a relationship. I think the lust is important. I think you guys kind of put me over on that side of lust, because I was at first like, absolutely not. It's just all about the love.
Because lust has such a negative connotation, because people refer lust to like, oh, it's a sin, you're lustful. But that's the thing, like, that's a part of love, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you go to some churches, some pastors get on they one, they be freestyling and stuff like that. They probably tell you, you got to lust for God. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, though, they take that one negative word and then they apply it to God. They're like, don't sin for the devil, sin for God. Like,
it wakes people up in the church. They're like,
yeah,
wait a minute, what? Just make sure my ears are working.
Yeah, but you know how they do that, though. But yeah, be lustful for your wife as well as God, please.
Now, if you had if love taught you a lesson, or if love was a teacher, what is one lesson that you will get from love?
One lesson.
I got one. My lesson is that love is tough. love is tough, but going through it and finding it is tough. But once you find it, it can be so easy. And I think that, it might be complicated. Love is a little bit complicated, but it's definitely worth it. So that's the lesson to me.
To me, I think love is caring about that person. I think that plays the biggest part. I feel like, caring enough to do anything for that person, to understand that person, to, go through the trials and tribulations with that person in a relationship. All of that plays a big part when you care for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, if love taught me something, it'd be caring overall.
Of course, like you say, it's understanding whatever. One thing that love taught me is that you can't, in the mindset, we think when we fall in love once with a person. I think love has taught me trials and tribulations to where you're going to fall in love with the same person throughout different periods and time of your life. Because you can be in love, fall in love with the person, everything's cool, then you guys have a fallout. Whatever it is, whatever. But time, whatever, heals, whatever. They say time heals all, whatever. You can fall in love with that person again. So falling in love doesn't mean that it's just a one in a lifetime thing. You can fall in love multiple times with the same person. So I think that's what love taught me, that it's not just a singular thing. It's multiple. You can keep falling in love, deeper. It's not just I fell in love and that's it. So I'm gonna live my life with this person for 30 years. Because as generation time goes on, things are different. Like right now, there's people that, like you said, there's people that are breaking up right now, whatever, right? But there's people that's at home with their life right now, falling in love again because time has slowed down. It gave them time to appreciate them. It gave them time to understand them and love them. So there's people falling in love all over again. So if anything, that's what it taught me, that there's no such thing as singular falling in love. You can do it multiple times over. So tenfolds.
I agree with that. Even in relationship wise, when you go through a bad breakup, and you really love that person, and you do grow with that breakup, I do feel like it's possible to fall in love again with someone else. I don't feel like that's just the end of the world. Like, I was in love with that person, I broke up with that person, and now I can't fall in love with anybody else. No, you can find somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's always a connection there with somebody. And it happens naturally. I think when you going out looking for it, it tends to not really happen. You gotta kind of just let it happen naturally.
Find that lust when you go looking for it. Where that lust at?
When you hit that point where you don't go looking after it and you've exhausted your measures and you're just like, what, this is me. I love myself. If you can't love it, then why are you even here? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think you gotta love yourself before you can love somebody else.
I agree with that.
That is very true.
Yeah. Well, that is a great way for me to end my questions. Thank y'all so much for that.
You did a great job. Great job.
Outstanding job. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you for everything. You've been a pleasure. And Terrence, I'm not afraid to say that I love you too, bro.
Yeah,
see, and that's the part. See, that was a test. That just goes to show you. That just goes to show you. That just goes to show you. Especially amongst black men, it's rare for another man. No, I take that back. A lot of young dudes say, "Nah, man, I love you, bro." Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Love is love. You know what I'm saying? There's different types of love, but it's love. It's all love, Terrence. It's all,
man.
And it's free.
I believe that. Just don't say it. But
well, Terrence, you don't control me. I love you. No homo. All right. Pause. And you see, he has yet to say it back, so I feel some kind of way.
Take the silence as his true love.
It's all love. It's all.
There you go. There you go.
Said the word love. That's
even though it wasn't directed towards me, it was directed towards everybody. But I'll take it. I'm somewhere in there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, I'm your boy LP82 along with my co-host
Young Tech, aka Wordplay,
and of course
Virginia.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know the whole get down.
Check out 2020 Vision. It's up. Vision. iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all platforms. Check it out. type in the Tick. Was it The Adventures of Tick and Still Will? The Adventures of Tick and Still Will. 2020 vision.
Yes.
Holla at me.
And of course, we got he's working on another project, so the man stays busy, stays on the mic.
Oh, yeah.
He stays on the mic, like literally every time I see him, even at work, he has a mic in his hand. But it be the phone though. But still, he be on that thing. You know what? Somebody told me that when he does the announcements, he's like, "Man, dude, I need Terrence to do the announcements for me. He does it so smooth." Like literally, he says it all the time. But anyways, nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you. We're out.
Turn to Hymm up, turn to Hymm up, podcast. Turn to Hymm up, turn to Hymm up.